Seth, isn't it not a fact that the United States, even as it is threatening Russia, threatening India, threatening China, is actually doing business on its own with Russia? They are buying uranium from there, they are buying palladium from there, they are keeping their nuclear industry, their EV industry floated on, Russian imports. And not just that, their imports are far larger than what India is importing. So is Mr. Trump really unaware of the facts on the ground? Or is this something that should be dismissed as usual bluster that comes from him, for which only Mr. Rahul Gandhi literally goes for, and there are no other takers in the country?
Well, first I want to congratulate Ashwani for crossing over from the Congress to the BJP, because I never imagined such a scathing attack from a Congress spokesperson when he said citizenship is not a legal issue. I mean, that's a very under-the-belly cut to someone whose passport case is now in the courts of law. But I think that's a slip of the tongue, which is a mistake of the mind, and those who point it out are very unkind. The second, he talked about sovereignty. Sovereign republics answer to people who are bullies. The statement yesterday was the response of a sovereign republic which refuses to buckle. Because, Ashwani, you're a very wise man, and the wise people know that a bully is essentially a coward. What Trump does, and this is his normal playbook, and Ashwani, I suggest you read and start reading about Trump. Read his first book called Art of the Deal. So Trump's modus operandi is as follows. He does things for optics. He has no brain. So, you might find comfort in that, in the sense that there are many people in India who are brain dead, but he's like totally vacuous. He wants people to respond. And like a petulant child, if you don't respond, he ups the ante. Now, you tell me, Ashwani, and as I said, I'm very fond of you. Why would you want the Indian Republic, as you very rightly said, why would you want a sovereign to be submissive? Why would you want a sovereign to submit? Because the more you submit, the more he will make you bend. A. B. Let's understand our economy. Other than a gentleman of very high intellectual heft in your party, no one has talked about the Indian economy dying. We're a consumptive economy. Are there headwinds? Of course there are. Is there joblessness? Of course there is. But India will sort that issue out. Will there be headwinds post the tariff increase? I'm sure there will be in two critical sectors, jewelry exports and services. But what would you want, Ashwani, and what would every Indian want? Do we want to buckle down to a bully where he keeps raising the ante? As you have seen, he's done that with Canada, he's done that with Mexico, he's done that with Brazil. Let me tell you what Trump actually wants. He wants us to be totally submissive. He wants us to throw up our hands, but that is not the India that took shape post-2014. Before that, it was a very suave, very relaxed India, where we embraced everyone, and many backstabbed us, but that's another matter. Today, that's not the India. That's not the Indian. Forget Narendra Modi. The average Indian today has come into his own. He or she recognizes what India has to offer. He or she recognizes the worth not of patriotism, but of national legacy. He or she recognizes the civilizational legacy we are part of, and we are not going to submit to a country that was born out of migration, that promised only money as the only hope. So where a country promises only money, their yardstick is always money. You know that when Pandit Nehru created and helped in the formation of a free India, he was a man of letters. He wasn't a man of lucre. So why should we submit to monetary bullying today? So my urge and my appeal through Navika Kumar's program would be, we have to keep our heads held high. Will there be pain? Of course there'll be short-term pain. But it's better to have short-term pain than have a situation where the operation is successful and the patient is dead. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Well said, a la Trump. But Anwar Pasha ji, Are we a nation where we are taking a stand against the bullying of President Trump, or are we going to be a nation where we are pulling each other down in order that we can succumb to the pressures and the bullying of Trump? Which nation do we want to be? And that is the question I want to ask with all degree of responsibility at my command to the opposition in this country. Should we be telling the Prime Minister that India will stand together and not give in to the bullying? Or should we become people who actually begin to taunt the country, taunt the leadership in order to score some brownie political points back home, but lose the battle to, the bullying of America?
Navika ji, a very good evening. The fact is that the whole nation today is shocked. For the last 3 months, the way the President of America is treating us, it is very shocking for us. And it is a time to introspect. As a nation, as a sovereign country, are we going to surrender before Trump? Is it not our failure that we are not able to convince and tell him that, Mr. Trump, mind your business, mind your business. We are a sovereign country. We'll decide with whom we should do our trade and with whom we should have our friendship relationship. We are a sovereign country. We have to decide about it. To me, not only to me, people of the country feel that somewhere we have failed to tell Mr. Trump in a strongest term that we are not going to pull it down by your arm twisting. We are firm and will be giving befitting reply. This should be our policy. Navika ji, I must say that by abusing Rahul Gandhi ji or Jawaharlal Nehru ji or Indira Gandhi ji and other opposition parties, if BJP is going to score points,
I'll respond.
And if it helps BJP to convince Mr. Trump that, look, we are with you, and we are abusing the opposition parties and Nehru and all these leaders who have made our fantastic foreign policy and the diplomatic strategies that we have abandoned today. This is a complete failure of our foreign policy and the diplomacy as well. This is the fact. Not as an opposition, as a citizen of this country, I feel bad today. We have never surrendered before any country. We have never surrendered before any country in past. The same America, the same Trump is doing, the same Trump knows it well, that the European unions are doing the same thing, but not a single word for the European Union. Why? Why for us? Why he's treating us like this?
Okay.
If you're
are we a failure?
From Russia,
are we a failure? That's the question you've raised, Pradeep.